Hi everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Celeste and this is Cooking with Celeste. Today we're going to make carne con ejotes with mashed potatoes, also known as regular carne asada with green beans and mashed potatoes. This is a very simple meal. It's really delicious and I promise you, your family's gonna love it the same way mine does. So the first thing that we're gonna do is the mashed potatoes. So I already washed these potatoes. The next thing is to peel them and to cut them into 1-inch squares. These are yellow potatoes. These are my favorite potatoes to use in mashed potatoes because I feel like they are creamier and they're easier to cook. So right now we're cutting the potato, and after we're gonna put the potatoes to boil. So now we put our potatoes in already boiling water that I had boiling when I was cutting everything, and we just wait. While the potatoes are boiling, we're gonna start cutting the tomato and the onion for our carne con ejotes. Let's get started. And I like to cut it in kind of bigger chunks because I like to have more of a texture thing for me. Like I like to taste the tomato. I like to know that it's there. Some people like it to have thin cuts, but I like it thicker. This is kind of the average. Okay, so what I have right here is a yellow onion, and I like to cut it in thicker pieces because I love onion and I love having those thick bites of onion in my food. But you guys can do it thinner. You guys don't have to use the whole onion like I'm using. You guys can use half of it. It all depends on you and your flavor. These are just the recipes that I like, but you guys can always switch it up to whatever you guys like. So what we're gonna do here is just cut it into like the tomato or the potato. 1-inch squares is fine. And after this, we are going to prep the green beans. So after I cut the onion and the tomato, I cut these green beans. These are fresh green beans from any local grocery store. And after I cut the ends, I just cut them in the middle. And if they're a little long, then just cut it one more time. So this is thin sliced carne asada. So what I like to do is layer them, and they are still a little bit frozen, so it's easier to cut. Just cut it this way. You can get these at any local grocery store. This is about a pound. And if they're a little thick like this, then just turn it to the side and give it one more. So they should look about this big. So now we're checking on our potatoes and we want to see if they're ready. They're easy to push. This is what we want. We want them overcooked so they're easier to mash. So this is a nonstick pan that I'm letting heat. Right now I'm just putting a little bit of corn oil and letting that heat up for a couple of seconds before I put in my meat. Oh yeah, ready. So today what I'm gonna use to season is garlic salt, black pepper, consommé de pollo, and cumin. So what we're gonna start off, by the way, I like to season it while it's still a little raw. That way, while it's cooking, it gets all the flavor in it. So we're gonna start off with the consommé de pollo. So this is 1 teaspoon, 2, 3. And you guys can put as much and as little seasoning as you guys like. This is half a teaspoon of garlic salt. I love pepper, so we're gonna use 1, 2. This is 2 teaspoons. Cumin is really strong, so I'm gonna use 1/4 teaspoon. There you go. So while you're cooking this, I already took the liberty of taking the potatoes out of the pot, and I washed it and refilled it with water so I can put in my green beans. The reason why I did the green beans last is because it doesn't take long to cook. It all depends if you like them to be a little crunchy, but most of the time, by the time this is finished, the green beans are done. So around this time, I'm going to put the tomato and the onion so it can all get the same flavor. So this is the tomato and the onion. After we mix this up, I am going to put the green beans in the boiling water. And when the tomato and the onions get a little soft, they're translucent, that's when you add in the green beans. I do an extra step, and I actually have a pot on the side, or pan, where I'm gonna put about 1/3 of this into it and add chili because I like it spicy. My family doesn't like it spicy, but I do, so that's why I have to do that extra step. But like I said, you guys don't have to. It's all on you. Whatever you like, that's what you make it. So I just put these green beans in the pot that I washed. It's the same pot that I used the potatoes. I just washed it, add more water, and I put them here. The water's not boiling yet, but that's okay because we don't want it to overcook. Unless you like it overcooked, then that's perfectly fine. Next, we're gonna do the mashed potatoes. So now we're gonna start with the mashed potatoes. It's really simple. The ingredients that I use is pepper, garlic salt, milk, and so I like to start off with the butter. And this is the Imperial brand. The key to creamy mashed potatoes is butter. Lots of butter. Okay, so I'm starting off with 2 scoops and just start mashing. Mashing this, I'm going to add just a little bit of milk, not too much. That will also help with the creaminess. Now we're going to start seasoning it. I'm going to put half a teaspoon of pepper. And we're gonna start off with just half a teaspoon of garlic salt. Maybe a little less. Just to see, make sure that it's not too salty, because you can always salt it more, but if it's too salty, it's hard to take that salt back. I'm going to add another scoop of butter. And make sure that you do this while the potatoes are hot so the butter can melt and incorporate. And while you're mashing it, just try it. All right, let's give it a try. It needs a little bit more garlic sauce. All right, let's try it out again. Perfect, it's so good. You guys need to try this. Mashed potatoes are finished. Let's go check on our meat. So this is the time where I like to separate my little piece of the food, because I don't just add more chili, I actually add more of the consomme de pollo because, like I said, I like it a little salty. My family does it, so I make theirs and I make mine. Around this time, I like to add a little bit of the little juice, maybe add a little water. So this is my little piece of the meat. I like to add chili. These are chilies from my garden. This one right here is the Fresno chili, and this one is the Black Mamba. I like it spicy, so I add this, and then I also add some more consomé de pollo. Like I said, don't judge me. I like it a little salty, but that's just me. You guys don't have to add this. And our green beans should be ready already. Our green beans are ready already, so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna pick it up and put it in the pan. That's enough for me. Now for my beautiful family. And like I said, if you guys want them a little bit more cooked, you guys can cook them more. You guys don't have to cook them as much. It all depends on you. Everybody's different. This is just how me and my family like it. All done. A simple recipe that you and your family is gonna love the same way me and my family loves. Let's give it a try. Oh my God, it's so good. You guys need to try. Thank you so much for watching my YouTube video. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Turn on your notifications. See you next video. Bye.